So a question I see a hell of a lot on Facebook at the minute is how much should I take with me to Thailand? How much am I going to spend each day? And of course, that's a very subjective question. You could sit on the beach all day, eat at Thai restaurants and spend very little. Or you could be out in the bars every night buying lady drinks and whatever, or out doing activities every day, spending money on clothes and expensive restaurants, if there's such a thing in Phuket. I didn't really see any overly expensive ones, but I'm sure there is. You could spend a fortune on your accommodation, or you could spend very little on a hostel. It's all down to you and how much you want to spend. So today I'm just going to be going over what I spent on my recent trip. I've got a book here with my with my numbers written on. I give you a clue. I spent a fair amount. It was, however, my first holiday abroad, so I went with the attitude of I spend what I spend, and that's it. I want to have a good time and I want to enjoy myself. So let me just go through the numbers with you and have a bit of a rundown on what each thing cost. I won't go into too much detail, but I'll give you a little bit of information. I'm going to start off with what I spent on the airfare and what I spent at Etihad's upgrading and things. The airfare, the original ticket price was £1,163 return. I know I'm going to get jumped on by some people who I know you can get it a lot cheaper than that, but again, I was just excited and bought tickets. I then decided I was going to extend my stay there, so I had to pay a 200 and something pound fee to change my flights, which was well worth it because I think the amount of time I picked to stay there was perfect. I think it was 13 nights in the end I ended up staying. On the journey there, I picked my seat from Manchester to Abu Dhabi. From Abu Dhabi to Phuket, I also bought the seat next to me so I had a bit of space and I could get some sleep, because obviously when I arrived there I was straight out near enough on a day trip to the elephant sanctuary, so I wanted to make sure I got a bit of sleep and I was feeling quite refreshed. On the way back I didn't actually upgrade anything, but I had a nice surprise. I was called over. I was sat eating McDonald's and I hear my name called over on the tannoy. So I went to the boarding gate and said, "What's the problem?" thinking I'd maybe done something wrong. She rang on the radio and someone came across and said, "Can I have your ticket?" So I said, "Yeah, here you go, here's my ticket." Still thinking, oh no, I'm in trouble here. He ripped the ticket up and gave me a business class ticket for the journey from Phuket to Abu Dhabi. I didn't even ask why. I presumed they'd just picked at random or something. They had some seats left. I don't know. I really don't know, but it was a lovely bonus. So for the journey from Phuket to Abu Dhabi, I was in business class, 3-course meal, a load of food I'd never seen before, but it was lovely. I wasn't drinking. I had a bit of a dicky stomach still. I was suffering the last few days while I was there, so I was just drinking Coke. But yeah, I laid out, put my seat back to a bed and had some good rest. And then on the journey from Abu Dhabi back to Manchester, I didn't upgrade and I just had a normal ride back. Again, I've probably mentioned this before in my other videos, but I just want to thank Etihad, who were absolutely fantastic from start to finish with me. I won't go into too much detail, but the fact that they upgraded me to business class, yeah, that was a nice little sweetener. Next, I want to go on to hotels, and I spent in total £527 on hotels. The first night when I got there, I stopped at the San Antonio guest house in Carter Beach. Second night I went over to, which was a Sunday night, I went over to Old Town for the night market. I can't remember the name of the place I stopped there, but that was okay as well. It wasn't a bad room at all. I then went to the La Vista in Patong. I was on the 6th floor of a balcony. The room was absolutely beautiful. I really recommend La Vista. Brilliant, brilliant. The view from the balcony on the 6th floor was just incredible. And above on the 7th floor there is a hot tub, which was a big bonus, but the room was absolutely lovely. I really do recommend that. I had another place booked for the week. I'm not going to go into detail as to where that was or what hotel that was, but I arrived there and it was an absolute dive. It was disgusting, and I'm not picky in any sense of the word. I'm a contractor, so I'm used to stopping in substandard accommodation, but this place was, I got in there and I just thought to myself, this is going to ruin the last week of my holiday if I stay here. So I ended up coming out of there and booking another place on booking.com. Followed Google Maps to where it was meant to be, couldn't find it, so I thought I'll ring the guy and see where it is. He then informed me that booking.com should have never sold me that room because it wasn't available. But big shout out to Philip, I believe his name was. He rang one of his contacts who had a condo in the same apartment complex that I'd booked into, and English guy, Peter his name was. I met him at the condo. He rushed straight over there for me, charged me very little. He could have took advantage of the situation, but he didn't. And yeah, it was a lovely condo, and I stopped there for the rest of the week. I believe it was 1200 baht a night or something along them lines. Very cheap for what it was, and it was in a decent location, about 15 minutes away from Bangla Road, the beach, Trung Chalong, all them things. So yeah, I got very lucky there. So big shout out to Philip and Peter. You really saved my ass there. The next thing I want to go on to is activities while I was there. It says I spent 229.58. Obviously I'm only going off my bank statements, but I think I maybe spent a little bit more because some of them I didn't book online, I paid in cash. I went to the Elephant Sanctuary, I went to PP Island and a few other places, Maya Bay and Kai Island. I went out to Khao Sok National Park, I believe that's right, which was, wow, incredible. I went fishing at Shillong, Shillong Fishing Park, absolutely fantastic day. Had a bag full of fish, the beautiful food, electricity hookup. It was just a fantastic day. I also went quad biking. Probably did a few other things, but yeah, that's about it for the activities. Money while I was there. Yeah, this is how much money I took out of Cash Point while I was there, and that amounts to £2,792.53. I bought a lot of clothes, spent a bit of time in the bars, having a few drinks. I lost quite a few games of Connect 4, if you know, you know. Lost quite a few games of pool. They're good. The girls are very, very good at pool. Yeah, and just had a good time. I only went out probably four nights, but every night I wasn't worried about how much I was spending. I wasn't counting. Like I say, I bought clothes. I don't know if you can see on camera, I had this tattoo done. That cost a fair bit. I think that was nigh on £200. Yeah, I just, I know I've spent a lot and I haven't got infinite money to waste, but like I say, I just wanted to enjoy the holiday, and I really did. If I wanted to buy something, I just bought it. I did tip quite a lot as well, probably more than I should have done, but just to see the joy on some people's faces. I remember I went to watch along Temple, and I went over to one of the small shops over the other side, and there was a woman in there. I just bought a bottle of water, and I think I gave her 100 baht or something, and told her to keep the change, and it was like I'd changed her life, and it's quite a good feeling. So when you're out there, just don't go over the top, but just leave them a nice tip, and it was always appreciated. Taxis, £40.23. I was just using Bolt. You order your Bolt, it's there within 2 minutes. Had a few taxis, a few moped rides. Generally, when I was going to the gym, I'd order a moped because the traffic round where I was staying at the condo was just, it was too much for a taxi, whereas a moped could get through the traffic. But just be very careful because they drive like maniacs. Anyone who's been there knows what it's like. Very overcrowded in Patong at the minute. The roads are just, I've never seen anything like some of the traffic there. I recommend you get a helmet. If you're going to be taking scooter rides, get yourself a helmet. I saw a couple of accidents while I was there, and it doesn't end well. And if you come off without a helmet on, you're going to be in big trouble. In fact, a Thai woman died while I was there. She was on the back with her husband, and it had been raining, and her husband slid out, and she ended up dying. She didn't have a helmet on. It only takes you to hit your head. And if you're thinking about renting a scooter or a car, just be very careful. I'm not to tell you whether you'll be able to handle it or not, but I'm a very confident driver, and I personally wouldn't think about it in a million years. It's a very aggressive, very dangerous style of driving out there. So yeah, that's my transport. And in the airport, I spent 119 quid. That's just food. McDonald's. I had a Starbucks at Manchester. I think I bought some aftershave and some sun lotion. But that's about it, not a lot. So that leaves me with a grand total of £5,333. Like I say, that's a lot. You don't have to spend anywhere near that. I didn't take any clothes with me, so I pretty much bought a full wardrobe while I was out there. I bought some stuff in Jungchalong as well, which obviously you can buy from the fake shops very cheap, but as soon as you go in Jungchalong, it starts to get a little bit expensive. You don't have to go on all the activities. A couple of activities are more than fine. You don't have to go out drinking every night. I didn't go out drinking every night, but when I was out, I spent a fair bit of money. I wasn't drinking cheap beers. I was drinking Jaeger bombs and Jägermeister and Red Bull, basically, which tends to be quite expensive out there. And like I say, I lost a few bar games. I couldn't win a game of Connect 4 to save my life. They're just too good. The girls are just don't expect to win a game of Connect 4. Yeah, and I just had an amazing time and didn't worry about anything, which was my main aim. The last thing I wanted to do was go out there and be watching what I was spending. I suppose I'm privileged in that way that I can do that. Not everybody can. I understand people have a budget, and you can, like I say, you can go out there and have a good time on a budget. You can spend time at the beach. There's plenty of countryside to walk around. There's just jungle everywhere, lots of forests and stuff. Just walking around and browsing and stuff like that. And if you eat at Thai restaurants, you pay next to nothing. I was getting 3 plates of food, 2 cans of Coke for about £4 something, and the food's fantastic. It's not for everybody, Thai food, but personally for me, I really enjoyed it. So I think we'll leave it at that for today, guys. If you've got any comments, I'm sure some of you might have some comments on how much I've spent, or you have any questions or anything along them lines, like I say, leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Thank you.